What's up guys and welcome back to my channel. In our first news, Jiri Prochazka has become the latest fighter to question Tom Aspinall's handling of the eye poke incident at UFC 321. While Tom's father recently revealed that his son is still struggling with vision problems, that hasn't stopped a wave of criticism from coming his way. Many fans and fighters have been debating whether the fight should have been stopped or if Tom could have continued despite the injury. Jiri, who is known for his warrior mentality and philosophical approach to fighting, took to X to share his thoughts. He wrote that he doesn't know exactly how bad Tom's injury was during the title fight, but for him, it's always essential to fight until the very end and to win no matter what. His comments quickly gained traction online, adding more fuel to the ongoing debate surrounding the controversial ending. While Jiri didn't directly criticize Tom, his message implied that, in his view, a true fighter should push through adversity whenever possible. As the discussions continue, fans are divided, some defending Tom for prioritizing his safety, while others side with Jiri's old-school mindset of never backing down. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Aljamain Sterling has found himself in the middle of controversy once again after his recent comments about Tom Aspinall's eye poke incident at UFC 321. The former bantamweight champion stirred up major backlash when he criticized Aspinall for how he handled the illegal eye poke from Cyril gained during their heavyweight bout. Sterling questioned the severity of the poke and claimed that Aspinall made a mistake by immediately telling referee Jason Herzog that he couldn't see before the 5-minute recovery time had even expired. According to Sterling, saying those words, "I can't see," automatically forces the referee to stop the fight because of how the rules are written. His take didn't sit well with fans, especially considering his own history with disqualification wins. Many were quick to remind him of his infamous fight against Petr Yan, where Sterling won the title after being illegally kneed in the head, a moment that led to accusations of acting and milking the foul. After the backlash, Sterling posted another video to clarify his comments, standing by his point but offering a bit more context. He said, "When Tommy got poked in the eye, the first thing he said was, 'I cannot see,' and we all know, when you are fouled, you cannot say those words. Otherwise, the ref is inclined to stop the fight, because that's just the way the rules are written. Don't be mad at me. I'm not the guy who created the rules." Sterling made it clear that he did not deny the impact of the eye poke. "I agree that Tommy was egregiously poked in the eye and that it affected him. It wasn't cool, but at that point, nothing could really be done. That's why I said he should have handled the situation differently," Sterling explained. He added that while it's natural to react that way in the moment, as professionals, fighters have to be mindful of how their words can influence the referee's decision. You get poked, you say, "I can't see, I can't see." It's natural, but we've been here before. We've seen fights like this, and we've got to handle it the best way we can. Maybe that's what happened with Tommy. Who knows? Sterling went on to clarify that he never meant to question Aspinall's character or toughness. "I've never questioned Tommy's integrity, and I've never questioned any fighter's integrity," he said, "but I do like to make fun of certain situations, especially when I've taken an unfair amount of flack from fans after what happened to me." He reminded everyone that he was harshly criticized after his own illegal knee incident with Yan. "People were calling me all kinds of names, saying I was acting, saying I was weak," Sterling said. "None of you guys have ever been blasted in the head with a knee that you didn't see coming from anywhere. That's a real thing." Sterling's clarification video was more composed, aiming to show that his criticism came from a rule-based perspective, not from personal bias or disrespect toward Aspinall. Still, his comments continue to fuel debate within the MMA community about how fighters should handle fouls inside the octagon. Moving on to another news, it looks like Bryce Mitchell has finally gotten his nose fixed after a nasty training injury that left him in rough shape. The UFC featherweight had broken his nose badly during a sparring session, and according to reports, he was bleeding heavily right after the accident. But instead of rushing to a doctor, Bryce decided to do things his own way, just like he always does. After the injury, Bryce took to social media and posted a video asking his followers if anyone could help fix his nose for free. In the clip, he sounded calm but clearly frustrated about the situation. "Hey, I'm in Searcy, Arkansas right now," he said. "I need my nose straightened out. I just got it broken and you can tell it's sideways or whatever." "But dude, the doctors are so expensive. They're like $2,000 or some cry just to set my nose." His tone made it obvious that he wasn't joking. He genuinely didn't want to spend that kind of money on something he believed could be handled easily. Bryce went on to ask if anyone in the area could help him fix it by the grace of God. He continued, "Can somebody in Searcy please set my nose back straight for free? If you could fix my nose for free in Searcy, Arkansas right now, send me a message, and I'll probably go to you instead of the doctor." He explained that medical treatment would likely cost him thousands of dollars, and all that really needed to be done was to pull the nose back and put it straight again. "If y'all can help, let me know. Thank you." he added before ending the video. That post quickly went viral, with fans reacting to his raw and unfiltered honesty. Some people found it hilarious, while others offered genuine medical advice. Thankfully, it now appears Bryce has managed to get the issue sorted. His latest video shows his nose looking straight again, meaning someone either stepped up to help him or he finally gave in and went to a professional. Either way, the Arkansas native seems to be back in good spirits, and his nose looks much better than before. Moving on to another news, Strickland recently made headlines after revealing an interesting detail about how UFC medicals actually work. At first, Sean had commented on Bryce Mitchell's viral video, suggesting that Bryce should just get a medical from the UFC instead of asking fans to fix his broken nose. But a few hours later, Strickland took a step back and admitted that he was wrong. In a post on social media, he wrote, "Well, I was wrong. You have to have a fight booked to get medical from the UFC. LMAO, what a joke." His comment instantly caught attention, as it highlighted how fighters without an active booking might be left without certain medical benefits from the promotion. Just a couple of hours later, Bryce returned online with an update that had fans relieved and amused at the same time. He shared that his buddy managed to fix his nose for free, and everything went surprisingly well. In his own words, Bryce said, "Hey, I wanted to let y'all know I'm doing really good, and I wasn't in any pain at all. For whatever reason, it just didn't hurt the whole time." He explained that while he was a little worried at first, the process turned out better than expected. "I didn't know exactly what to do," he said. "I didn't know if it would ever come back straight again. That was my main concern. But I'm totally healed now. Thank the Lord. God, thank you so much for healing me." Bryce went on to apologize to his fans for what he called looking like a cheapskate. He said that as soon as the injury happened, his mind instantly went into panic mode. "Right when that happened, my brain went to primal survival instinct," he explained. "I started thinking, oh man, this is going to be expensive. What have I done? This is going to be thousands of dollars to fix." He admitted that it's a shame that money was his first thought, but it was just how his brain reacted in that stressful moment. He then shared that his friend managed to fix the nose perfectly, saving him a huge bill. "My buddy did fix it for free," he said with gratitude, "but I'm going to try not to be a cheapskate next time." Bryce also mentioned that he's never really had a problem paying medical bills in the past. "One time I got a big piece of wood stuck in my hand. It was only $600 to get it out. Totally worth it. When I ripped my nuts in half, it was only $1,250, and that was the best $1,250 I ever spent." Bryce's honesty and humor once again showed why fans love him, raw, real, and unapologetically himself. Moving on to another news, Carlos Ulberg has made it clear that he wants Alex Pereira to stay at light heavyweight instead of moving up to heavyweight. Alex has been teasing a potential jump to the heavyweight division for months now, even calling out Jon Jones multiple times. And now that Jon has seemingly accepted the challenge for a potential UFC White House card, fans are eagerly waiting to see if the fight will actually happen. But in Carlos's eyes, Alex still has unfinished business at light heavyweight, and he wants to be the one to face him. In a recent interview with MMA Junkie, Carlos said he'd love to fight Alex because it's not just a big fight, but a money fight, the kind of matchup fans would love to see. He said he hopes Alex sticks around the light heavyweight division because beating a fighter like him would prove that he's at the top level. Carlos mentioned that Alex is putting all the other contenders out of the picture, but he's ready for the challenge. According to Carlos, a win over Alex would be a career-defining moment and show that he truly belongs among the elite. Carlos has been on an incredible run, winning his last 9 fights in the UFC and finishing 6 of them. Most recently, he delivered a brutal knockout over Dominic Reyes, which solidified his place as one of the top rising contenders in the division. A matchup between him and Alex could easily headline a major event if Alex decides not to move up. When asked about Jiri Prochazka calling for a trilogy fight with Alex, Carlos didn't hold back. He said it's a tough sell because Jiri is coming off 2 straight losses to Alex, so a third fight doesn't really make sense right now. Carlos believes it's his time, not Jiri's, and that he's earned his shot. He respects what Jiri has done, giving him credit for his achievements, but insists that the spotlight now belongs to him. Moving on to another news, the UFC recently shared a hilarious moment where Daniel Cormier got trolled by one of the UFC staff members, and the internet can't stop laughing about it. The clip starts with DC sitting comfortably when a staff member casually asks him, "Do you ever wish you were, like, athletic?" That one line immediately catches Cormier off guard. He looks up in disbelief, clearly taken aback by the unexpected question. DC, who's known for his strong reactions, fires back, trying to keep his composure, but you can tell he's both shocked and amused. "Seriously? That's absolutely ridiculous," Cormier says, trying to laugh it off. But the staff member doesn't stop there. He doubles down, repeating, "No, for real. Do you ever wish you were athletic?" The way he delivers the line makes the situation even funnier. DC, now leaning forward with that signature smirk, can't believe what he's hearing. "Have you seen my career? Come on, man. That's so disrespectful." "So disrespectful," he says while shaking his head. The staff member keeps a straight face and asks again, "Do you ever wish you were more athletic?" At this point, DC can't help but get a little defensive. "You mean like walking around being athletic?" he says with a laugh. "No, in my prime I had athleticism. I could probably pass some of my athletic ability to more people on the UFC roster." The playful tension between the two makes the entire exchange priceless. Then, DC tries to turn the tables. "How would you like your wife to be, hanger yet?" he jokes, trying to make the staffer just as uncomfortable. The room bursts into laughter. DC keeps going, saying, "We all have wishes, man. I wish I could do everything. Basketball, soccer, baseball. I've just unlocked the fact that I'm still a pretty good soccer player. I hit a baseball. I went to the Olympics. There's a lot of cool stuff I did." The energy shifts as Cormier confidently lists his accomplishments, clearly reminding everyone that his athletic resume speaks for itself. "That was the greatest era," he says proudly, then laughs again. "I think I'm athletic. You think I'm not athletic, bro?" he asks, smiling but still challenging the staffer. "Tell them how you really feel, bro. Spill the tea, dog." The lighthearted roast perfectly captures DC's humor and personality, proving once again why he's one of the most entertaining figures in the UFC. Moving on to another news, Tom Aspinall is still facing serious issues following the brutal eye pokes he suffered at UFC 321. Despite initial hopes that his condition would improve, the situation now seems more concerning than before. In a recent YouTube video, Tom's father, Andy Aspinall, shared a worrying update on his son's health, revealing that Tom still cannot see out of his right eye. Andy explained that after returning home to England from Abu Dhabi, they arranged a private medical appointment for further examination. He said they were able to see a specialist at Cheadle Hospital, thanks to a UFC doctor who helped them secure the visit. According to Andy, the specialist essentially confirmed what the doctors in Abu Dhabi had said earlier. The injury was bad, and it would take time to heal. However, what's alarming is that Tom's vision has not improved, and in fact, seems to have gotten worse since the weekend. Andy described how Tom's right eye remains completely shut, and that he still can't see anything out of it. "It's just gray," Andy said, explaining that when they tested Tom's eyesight, he couldn't read or recognize any words with his right eye. His left eye, while slightly better, has also been affected. During the vision test, he could only make out a few letters before everything became blurry. "One eye is really blurry, and the other one's still not working," Andy added. Doctors reassured them that early tests don't indicate any permanent damage to the retina or optic nerve, which is a positive sign. Still, the ongoing symptoms have left the family anxious. Tom's eye remains swollen, sore, and half shut, and his recovery timeline is unclear. For now, the focus is on rest, medical monitoring, and protecting the injured eye from further strain. Fans around the world continue to send support and prayers as Tom Aspinall battles through one of the toughest moments of his career. Moving on to another news, Tom Aspinall's father, Andy Aspinall, has finally responded to Dana White's recent comments about the eye poke incident at UFC 321. Dana's remarks suggested that only Tom truly knows the extent of his injury, sparking mixed reactions across the MMA community. In his response, Andy didn't hold back, emphasizing that the UFC has a responsibility to protect fighters and prevent dangerous situations like this from happening again. Andy expressed his frustration, saying that the situation has highlighted a serious issue within the sport that needs to be addressed. He questioned what it would even take for an eye poke to be considered intentional and whether there's any real way to prove that. "Who knows, and who even cares if the UFC doesn't want to treat it as an issue," he said. "If they want to do something about it, they should. If they care about people, they should." His tone made it clear that he believes safety should always come before business interests. Andy went on to say that while everyone has their own opinion, a lot of those opinions are driven by money. He pointed out that he doesn't speak or act to please shareholders or chase online views. He does it because it's about the sport, about family, and about doing what's right. "I don't have to say or do things to report back to shareholders or to make money for a company," he explained. "I do this because it's a sport. I want to do it. My son wants to do it. I want to spend time with my kids." He also took a subtle jab at those online who are profiting off the controversy, including analysts, ex-fighters, and content creators. "Most of the people online are doing it because they make a video and that video makes them money," he said. "So it's about money. They're entitled to their opinion, but I don't read it and I don't care about it." Andy's message was simple but powerful. For him and his son, this isn't about fame, clicks, or money. It's about integrity, safety, and respect for the sport. He made it clear that while others might use the situation for their own gain, his focus will remain on supporting Tom's recovery and pushing for better fighter protection in the future. Moving on to another news, UFC CEO Dana White couldn't resist taking a subtle jab at Tom Aspinall after UFC 321, suggesting that the injury might not have been serious enough to stop the fight, and that only Aspinall truly knows how bad it was. His comments sparked another wave of debate across the MMA community, with many fighters and fans jumping in to share their opinions. One of those voices was former two-division champion Henry Cejudo, who decided to weigh in on the situation during a recent interview with ESPN MMA. Cejudo, who has been through a similar experience himself after suffering an eye poke during a fight, offered some advice to Aspinall. He said that Tom shouldn't take the criticism too personally, not even from Dana White. "Look, man, you can't let that stuff get to you," Cejudo said. "People are always going to talk, even the boss. You just have to focus on recovery and move on." He reminded everyone that eye pokes can happen to anyone in the sport, and that they're one of the most unpredictable fouls in MMA. Looking back at it now, what do you even do with eye pokes? Cejudo continued. "It happened to me, it happens to everyone. everybody. You can't really prepare for it. It's part of the fight game, but he didn't stop there. Cejudo also criticized the current system and called for immediate rule enforcement from the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They need to step up, he said. Automatic 1-point deduction the first time it happens. Second time, disqualification. No more warnings, no more excuses. Cejudo's comments echo what many fighters have been saying for years, that stricter penalties are needed to prevent unintentional fouls from changing the outcome of major fights. For now, Aspinall remains under scrutiny, but voices like Cejudo's show that fighters understand the danger of such situations better than anyone else inside the cage.